and welcome back to DMG. Believe it or not, I actually work on a lot of electronics that I don't even show on the channel. I only make a video on it if it's particularly interesting. That said, I thought it wouldn't be too entertaining to watch me clean my main projector when I took it down from my shelf after watching some videos and noticing it was incredibly loud. I thought cleaning the fans might help, so I opened it up and found something that was incredibly different than what I expected. And there's not really a way I can explain other than to show you. Now this is the Panasonic PT-LB60NTU. It is a triple LCD projector from around 2007, or at least that is the date code on my model. At first glance, it's a pretty normal projector. I would classify this unit as prosumer grade. It's not a many $1,000 large venue projector, but it's also not, one of the cheap ones that you can pick up in an electronics store for like 20 bucks, because there are projectors nowadays that you can get for alarmingly cheap. It's built quite well, and for an LCD projector that is a solid like 17 years old, it has fantastic image quality. It's held up quite well. Here we can see the ribbon cable connectors for our 3 LCD screens, because, quick recap, if you haven't seen the NEC VT45 projector video, these LCD projectors work by passing light through 3 LCD screens and through a prism. Each LCD screen is a different color, and although the screens themselves do not show color, they serve to block out light that is coming through them in certain areas. And through blocking out light in 3 different colors and only allowing light through of the 3 different colors in certain places, a full image is formed. That is then magnified and sent out the lens onto your, whatever surface. The first interesting thing I noticed was this. Now this may just look like an SD card to some of you. However, I know that this is a little-known slot called SDIO. It's an SD card. However, it works like a PCMCIA card. You can put expansion cards in this slot, and this one is a Wi-Fi card. This projector has not only streaming over Ethernet, but also wireless streaming over Wi-Fi, and I have a feeling that this is the card that enables it. I find it quite interesting that they would use an SDIO module instead of just like soldering a Wi-Fi chip to the board, or even putting a mini PCI or PCIe slot on here and just having a proper Wi-Fi card with big antennas and stuff. I would think that would actually be a much better solution. I just found it quite interesting that they used SDIO. Now I will clarify, this card will only work in an SDIO enabled slot. You can't just stick this in a regular SD card slot and just have it work. It has to be SDIO compatible. I'm going to put it back in because although I don't use the wireless streaming functionality, I have a feeling it will get mad if it's not there. I will also discuss that this is on a whole separate board, and it has a separate CPU and a separate RAM chip here. This is an Elpida chip. Let me check the part number so I can see. This is a 16 megabyte RAM chip from the code on it. And this Fujitsu chip here is probably what enables the communication with the SDIO slot. The next interesting thing was the cooling. Not only the odd abundance of fans, but also how the ducting is done. This is what I expect. You have a main intake fan that goes across your lamp, and I would expect to see an exhaust fan right here, and perhaps another cooling fan in this area. That is all I would expect from a projector. Instead, we have another fan for the power supply, and these 2 blower fans that both blow air backwards, and we can see from the ducting that they go up and around into the LCD screen assembly. Well, the intake on this side is blocked off, so that means they must be getting it through that gray plastic tube, and indeed, on the bottom, you can see the sticker on the middle of the fan around the lens. So it's pretty interesting that they're running ducting around the lens. Also, I will mention that this is a really long lens. Like, that is a ridiculously long lens for a consumer grade projector, and that is why I really love this thing. I have a small room, and the throw of this projector is amazing. I've tried other projectors, I've tried newer projectors with higher image quality, I've tried nice DLP projectors, but even though its image quality is not the best compared to other ones I've tried, the lens magnification makes up for all of that. We might as well investigate further, because I'll probably have to take a little bit more out to thoroughly clean. We'll disconnect all our cables here. Oh, also, another thing. This has quite an odd lamp. Usually the actual aperture of the lamp is a lot smaller than this, and I have a feeling that contributes to this projector's incredible brightness. I can have the lights on in my room and I still get a crisp, clear image that's about the best I could expect from an LCD projector. And that's another reason why I just love this thing to death. Yes, this is another one I got for free from eWaste because I'm just good like that. It is incredible just how wasteful people are. People just throw out perfectly good things because they're a few years old and they bought a new one. Yeah, I think this whole back part actually comes off. I have seen one of these exact analog devices chips in literally every projector I've been inside. I don't know what it does, but I would assume that it's some sort of video input processor. That seems like it would make the most sense, because it's not just in DLP or just in LCD projectors, it's in every one. Disconnect this final cable, and yeah. So everything from this point on is really just optics. Here is our cube of magic, and those are our 3 LCDs as I described earlier. If you want to see actually inside one of these mechanisms, well, the NEC video is the one for you. Now I wonder what this could be for. It's a massive capacitor, literally just connected to the board. What do you do? With a capacitor that big, I would expect to see a wire that's a little larger, but I guess it's only delivering like 5 volts, but it can deliver 5 volts for a long time. And I guess that's the intention of having such a large capacitor. Here are your color filters. So these are interesting. They're like a combination of a mirror and a filter. They let some colors of light through, and other colors of light they reflect. Wait, so if that's the power supply, then what's this? There's another mess of capacitors and stuff on this side. I guess this is just power supply continued. Oh, yeah, because all this is just the AC in. And then it goes through massive wires over here to the actual power supply. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Unlike the NEC triple LCD projector, it doesn't look like we have... No, we actually do. So, these 3 chips, they're 3 identical chips. 1, 2, 3. And those are the chips that run each individual LCD screen. The rest are just glue logic, input processing, and etc. So yeah, this is quite a good projector. So I'm going to put it back together before I forget how to. I mainly just wanted to quickly discuss some of the more interesting features of this projector. I've hacked the safety switch, so I should be able to power it on while open. Through the board, we might actually be able to see the 3 LCD screens displaying. As in, we can probably see the colored light from the lamp coming through. It'll either be red, green, and blue, or yellow, magenta, and cyan. Probably red, green, blue. Ooh, we can see that one is blue, that one is green, and that one is red. And that is, of course, light from our lamp over here that you can somewhat see. And of course, the screens themselves aren't producing the color. The screens are translucent, and they let the light through in certain areas. And by only letting light through in some areas, they form a picture by selectively letting certain colors of light through in certain areas of the image. And it's quite fascinating how that works. The no signal screen is blue, so we can see the blue screen is doing most of the work now. Quick last note, I noticed what that big capacitor was for. It's to keep the lamp cooling fan running for about 30 seconds after you turn the projector off. The circuit board keeps it running for about a minute at full speed, and then it runs at reduced speed, just ramping down for a good 30 to like 35 seconds. And that's good. It's just cooling the lamp a little more. So the capacitor isn't strictly needed, but I guess that is why it's there. So that explains a lot.